So has anybody here had a computer virus lately? How about a phishing scheme or spyware? Yeah, it's pretty prevalent nowadays. Do you know how many computer viruses there are since they started being written? There are 92,000. Now, only a couple thousand at any one time is really going to impact us. So what my job at Boeing is really to keep the bad guys out of Boeing. So protect Boeing, ensure that our data is protected via encryption technologies, ensure that the hackers don't invade our system, and that our data doesn't get compromised by malware or malicious software of any sort. It's a pretty foreboding task. Things have changed drastically over the years. When I first started working at Boeing 25 years ago, there really was no such thing as computer viruses per se, and this field did not exist. And I was lucky enough to follow a path that took me to this job, which I'm very passionate about, and I want to encourage you to consider computer security, but most of all, find that job that you can't wait to go to every day. Now, when viruses first started hitting Boeing in around 1992, they were just boot sector viruses, and we had to find a unique way to figure out how to protect our machines. But it was a small problem at that time. We didn't think so. Little did we know. And around 1995, macro viruses started occurring, and those viruses just popped up generally messages on your machine telling you that you're, a big fat pig or what have you. But they also started manipulating data. So the impact to Boeing started to be a little bit more critical because we need to ensure that the data that is being developed to build our airplanes is correct and is not manipulated. And in around 1999, when viruses started propagating via email, it became even more unique because email nowadays is a critical business app. And if it goes down for any sense of time, it can really impact our bottom line. We do a lot of business with customers, with vendors, and overseas, so we really rely on email. But around 2001, things got really out of control, and that's when viruses started propagating via the network, the worms. And we found that our network could be taken down in a matter really of 10 minutes or so. And so what we've had to do over the years is find unique solutions to protect against these new threats. And it really is a cat and mouse game. And what we found is try to find out about these new threats before they become an impact to your company so that you're more protected. It's been a lot of fun. We've been involved in a lot of intelligence gathering around the world. We've created some forums where if someone in England happens to see something suspicious, then we can put some mitigation in place and protect our company. So it's really a fun job, but it is the type of job that is never ending. So for those of you who like to stay up at night, this is a great job for you. For those of you who like to have high energy, sometimes Boeing does a very, very good job of protecting itself against the bad guys. We block multiple millions of viruses every day at our gateway, every month at our gateway from coming in. But once in a blue moon, something might happen. And when that does happen, you have to think fast. You all of a sudden have to think outside the box, trying to find mitigation strategies that will allow your business to continue. Nowadays, our airplanes are totally designed on the computer, so if our systems go down, it really has a big impact. Another impact is that Boeing has a web e-buy program, and we do millions of dollars of business a day on this website. And if that goes down, that's really going to affect our bottom line, so we want to ensure that we have business continuity regardless. And the virus writers are making it really more challenging because they're sending viruses that are spoofed, and so it looks like they're coming from people that and most people, I understand why people open viruses nowadays. I used to get really upset about it years ago, and I thought, why are people opening these files that look so suspicious? But now the virus writers are making it more enticing, and so I understand. I don't like it. But what's really happening now, though, is that not only are viruses propagating via the mail and the network, but they're multi-pronged, and they're dropping files on your system that are embedded into your system, and it's making it really difficult to remove them off your system. So it's a lot more challenging than it ever was. And so what we really want is to bring forth people with new ideas and fresh minds that can help us as we go forward. So in the computer security field, we're looking really for software developers. We do develop in-house applications. In fact, Boeing last year spun out a company of a software tool that we developed in the security organization. And that company now is its own standalone company. It's a spin out of Boeing, and it's selling its application developed in-house to other Fortune 500 companies. So it was really fun to be involved in that venture because I got to, at Boeing's expense, develop and start a new company. I chose not to go to the company because I happen to like working at Boeing, but it was a lot of fun and very exciting to have that opportunity. And it didn't cost me a thing, and now I learned so much more about what it takes to start a business. We need all kinds of people in security. We need people who are very analytical because the intrusion detection logs and the virus logs need to be perused through constantly because the way the threats are nowadays is they hide things very well. And so you need to have people who are very analytical, who can put the pieces together. If something came over here and now it's coming, maybe a log file over here is showing something different. You need to put the pieces together real well. So if you think like that, this is the field for you. Investigations is always fun. We also work with a number of agencies because we're trying to stop the threat where it begins, and that's with the bad guys. And the phishing scams right now are the biggest problem. Do you guys know what phishing scams are? Okay, what a phishing scam nowadays, what it is it's an email that arrives and it looks like it's from your bank generally, or eBay or PayPal, and it's asking you to input security information and account information, and the email looks exactly like an email from your website. They're quite good at spoofing your company. So it could be, right now Citibank is probably the #1 target. But what happens is the web link may point to citibank.com from what it looks like, but if you go to that site, it again looks like a valid site, but it's really not. It's a cover. It's a front to a site that's logging all your information, and it takes your computer, your account passwords, and all your identity, and it wipes out your accounts. And not only does it wipe out your account, but they steal your identity as well. And a lot of these scams are originating in Eastern Europe, and so it's a little bit difficult for American agencies sometimes to stop the kind of activity when it's originating overseas. But more and more, because it's becoming more prevalent and there's so much money loss that there is a lot more attention being paid to it. So it's quite a challenge. One of the most important tools when we look at hiring people is attitude and aptitude. So nowadays I know that if you come to work at Boeing, you're not going to have the experience in computer viruses or intrusion detection because you're college students, and hopefully you're not being taught to write viruses, and hopefully your college is protecting you from them. So I understand that you're not going to have the experience that we need, but if you have the attitude and the aptitude, that's really what I'm looking for. I did hire an intern last summer. We had about 120 people apply for the one position. And I encourage you to take advantage of any intern opportunities because we were able to hire this girl. She's back for her senior year at Rochester Institute of Technology in New York. And we were able to hire her part-time while she finishes her senior year. And what a great opportunity. She was exposed to a field that she had never been in, and she was able to kind of come in the back door when the front door is closed. So internships really are a very valuable way to get into a company. But it's also a valuable way for you to learn about a new career. We also are looking for people with networking, particularly as the viruses are evolving to be so malicious. If you have networking experience, if you have any kind of web experience, we really appreciate that. It's also important that you think out of the box.